I think one common misconception is that everything is so cheap out here. If you think of simple basic economics is supply and demand, if everyone is oversaturating, everyone's coming from New Jersey, New York to fix
Uh-huh.
and flip these homes, they're no longer going to be dirt cheap because everyone is doing that. Let's
Uh-huh.
say you're looking for a multifamily property and, there's multiple offers. You're competing with investors now. There's people that are offering cash. There's a lot. Everybody's coming to do it. You're not the first one that thought of, hey, let's move into this area and start fixing and flipping homes. It's just more competitive than what people initially think.
All right. Welcome to the North Fork Experience, the podcast where we explore the journeys of exceptional individuals and businesses shaping our communities and industries. I'm your host, Kirk Hays, and today we have a dynamic and rapidly rising star in the real estate world. He's the 3 KW Greater PA Region Rookie of the Year and multi-million-dollar producer and entrepreneur dedicated to putting his clients' needs first. Please welcome Ronald Peguero.
Hey, how you guys doing?
Thank you for joining us. I appreciate you taking the time here. So let's jump right into it. Ronald, you were raised right there in Wilkes-Barre, PA, and are now helping clients buy, sell, and invest in real estate across Northeastern Pennsylvania. What was it about this region and real estate specifically that drew you to build your career here?
So I was actually born in New Jersey. My family had moved here for what is ironically the main reason most of my clients that come from New Jersey and New York move here is at a lower cost of living.
Huh?
So, I got here when I was 7, just grew up in the area, and real estate at the time that I joined, it's growing now, but at the time that I joined, there wasn't much Spanish-speaking agents. So that was definitely and still is like a big boost in my business is that I can help both sides, English and Spanish-speaking clients, and I can help people make that transition from New Jersey, New York, get away from the higher cost of living to come over
Absolutely, yeah.
to the area.
Yeah, perfect transition to the next question. You noted that you came from a Dominican family and being fluent in both English and Spanish. Talk a little bit about your bilingual ability and cultural background and how it helped to connect you and serve a diverse clientele in the Wilkes-Barre and Scranton areas.
Yeah, I mean, being like Spanish and Dominican is kind of like not even just Dominican, but like in this Hispanic community in general, it gives people that sense of comfort that they have someone that they can relate to. They have that, thing in common where we speak our native languages, So that is definitely something that is a boost. People automatically, they see me, they know that we speak Spanish. We have some similar backgrounds, similar cultural backgrounds and everything, and that's clicks right away with clients.
Yeah, I'm sure that helps you out so much. Real estate, you guys are helping people with one of the biggest decisions of their life, So when you can communicate so clearly and share some of the same backgrounds, I'm sure that helps you out immensely when you're working with your clients and really helping them see their dreams through you and being able to show them, what the future can look like in that area.
Yeah, absolutely. The main thing in this business is building trust. So if you can build trust with that client, being able to speak Spanish and they have that trust in you, you guys are going to go a long way.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm sure that really helps you differentiate from a lot of the other real estate agents in the area too, and it really helps you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Perfect. So you achieved the incredible honor of being named the 2023 KW Greater PA Region Rookie of the Year and quickly became a multi-million-dollar producer. What do you believe were the key factors or initial strategies that propelled you to such rapid success in your first year?
I think just being able to learn from others, being able to be like in sports they say coachable, but being able to be teachable. I have tons of great mentors here at Keller Williams, and I learned a lot from them. And just being in the office, staying committed to the work, it's a grind. It's really a grind getting started. I guess just keeping faith. I got a lot of help from the mentors in my company, and having that, like I said, speaking Spanish, that was a boost immensely. Like there's tons of agents in the company that have Spanish speaking clients, and referrals is another huge thing. Like being able to get referrals from other agents, being able to get along with a lot of other agents as well is another key factor.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm sure, real estate, like any other industry, mentorship is so important and so crucial, especially early on in your development there. And you having that bilingual ability sounds like it really helped you out, and clients your coworkers could really push clients your way to give them that trust in someone that could guide them through that process.
Yep.
So your core philosophy is very clear. When you are working with me, you're working with a realtor who puts the needs of clients first. Whether it's selling a property or buying a first home, how do you consistently ensure that the client's needs remain at the absolute forefront of every transaction?
I look at it as the main thing is making sure that the customer experience was well, that everybody had a good, smooth transaction. Because the most important thing is maybe I had to make a little less money on this deal, or I had to make a little bit commission and offer lower on this property. If they can have a good experience and have a good transaction and send me a referral, that's worth 10 times any of the money that I earn on one deal. If they keep sending me their friends, family, loved ones to keep coming and buying and selling, that means more than making a couple dollars on one deal.
Yeah, especially in that business, you're, having some respect to your clients and can really go a long way. That word of mouth, and especially, being able to invite people into your home, and you say, what a great looking home. If someone comes over and they can give you a quick little referral on, well, hey, get a hold of Ronald. He's the guy. He's the one that got me in here, and
Yeah.
word of mouth was really a great advertiser in that industry for sure.
It's key. It's like one of the number one things in my eyes is, getting that client referral.
Yeah, and when they have a good experience, that goes such a long way to helping you develop as well.
Mm-hmm.
For those looking to buy their first home in Northeastern Pennsylvania, what are some of the important pieces of advice you give them to navigate the current market effectively?
I would say definitely do some research on the area you're moving into. There's a lot of cities that are rapidly growing in the area. A lot of people are coming in from out of state. A lot of investors are coming in and moving in. There's a lot of things being built, remodels, new constructions. So definitely do some research on the areas you're moving into. The school districts is another thing you should look into as well. And really just finding the perfect monthly payment and down payment price is another huge thing, because now you're budgeting a whole nother expense that is it's going to be an asset. It's going to be one of your biggest purchases. Like, most people only buy one home in their life ever, so it's a big deal. So definitely do your homework, do your research, make sure you're comfortable with the payments and the down payment, and you'll be fine.
Great, great. Yeah. Speaking from a little bit of experience, I worked in that area quite a bit when I was back in a separate life. It seems it's been so long ago, but I worked oil and gas for a long time. And I spent a lot of time up in that area, in the Wilkes-Barre Scranton area, specifically Clark Summit. We stayed in there a lot, and it seemed like a really rapidly growing area when I was there about 10 years ago now. And I would imagine it's pretty much continued at that
Really
pace.
Yeah, you probably wouldn't even recognize some of the places that you
Yep.
see.
Yeah, it was growing fast then, and it seemed like a great place to live too. I do a lot of outdoorsy stuff, and one of the things that I really liked about that area is it had some nice shops and stuff in the area, but also, a couple minutes down the road you could get to like hiking trails and stuff like that, and there were
Yeah.
some parks in the area. So I really enjoyed being up there in that area, and it seemed like a great place to grow and raise a family up there.
Yeah, and definitely, like, if your hobbies is like hunting or like quadding, side by siding, stuff like that, you can definitely look for homes in the area of trails. I had a client
I'm sure, yeah.
he had a house that was 4 acres, and he bought it solely because he could take his quads and his side by sides right through the trails. He didn't have to go far. It was literally his backyard.
Yeah, that's a great selling point for a lot of people for sure. So that's something that's really big for, amongst a lot of people. So I'm sure you can help people in a lot of different ways too in that area, whether they want to be, downtown a little bit more towards the hustle and bustle, or just outside of town. Like we said, it's you can get a bit of space out there too. So, all right. So beyond first time home buyers, you also help clients invest in real estate. What are some of the common misconceptions about real estate investing in your region, and what initial guidance would you offer to new or aspiring investors?
I think one common misconception is that everything is so cheap out here. If you think of simple, basic economics, is supply and demand. If everyone is oversaturating, everyone's coming from New Jersey, New York to fix
Uh,
and flip these homes, they're no longer going to be dirt cheap because everyone is doing that. Or
uh,
let's say you're looking for a multifamily property, and, there's multiple offers, you're competing with investors now. There's people that are offering cash. There's a lot. Everybody's coming to do it. Like, you're not the first one that thought of, hey, let's move into this area and start fixing and flipping homes. It's just more competitive than what people initially think. They come from these bigger markets and they say, oh, it's so easy, it's so cheap. And reality, we can make it easy. We can make it, so everyone gets a fair and good deal. It's just having the same like everyone being on the same playing field, everyone having the same expectations. As it's not as easy as you think, and it's definitely rewarding, but it definitely takes some homework to do. You got to make sure you know what you're doing.
Yeah, for sure. And, having someone like you to guide them along that path, that's familiar with the area, that is, as I'm sure, really, really helpful. But as you said, I'm sure there's a lot of pitfalls there too that, people need to look out for. So that's
Absolutely. We can help you find the perfect home, the perfect deal, but one thing is contractors. We can help you find contractors as well, but then you have to go for your materials. Those have costs. Like it is there's cost everywhere, and you have to be very time effective because you also don't want to sit on a project for 6, 7, 8 months. You want to get it gone as soon as possible so you get that check.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, one thing that surprised me when I got up to that area is the proximity to New York, and of course I knew it was fairly close when I was up there. I'm kind of a sports guy, and I started seeing like Yankees and Giants hats running around everywhere, and I said, I thought this would be Philly country, but
Yeah.
you pull out a map, and I said, heck, we're way closer to New York City than we are Philly. But yeah, I'm sure you get quite a few people coming from that market to venture out into your neck of the woods there.
Yeah, I mean, I grew up here, but I'm a big Mets and a big Giants guys.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. Yeah, it's close. So yeah. So you also consider yourself an entrepreneur. How does that entrepreneurial mindset influence your approach to real estate as an agent, and perhaps how you run your business with Keller Williams?
I think having the entrepreneur mindset is always being in like a growth mindset, always looking to find ways to be better and bigger and do things at a higher scale. Keller Williams really helps me and pushes me along. Being that we're one of the biggest real estate companies in the world, there's a lot of opportunities that they present that other companies might not. And they just really do a good job of pushing us to being that bigger self and doing it at a bigger scale and branching out and being one day running a successful team or having being associate broker and running an office.
Yeah, and that's a big deal too. Having that kind of mindset as an entrepreneur, keeps you looking for that next big thing. You're always pushing forward because stuff isn't stagnant. You're always trying to make that next step. So I think that's important in all businesses, but it really comes out in real estate as well.
Yeah, you're only as good as your last deal is something that I heard when I first started. So it's kind of just like, all right, you got one deal done. Like, what's the next thing? I can't, celebrate that win forever. You got to keep going and going and going.
Yeah, absolutely. You can't sit on that. As that the nature of the business. You're someone that maybe doesn't have that salary to fall back on. Like I worked in oil and gas for a long time. I was a salary employee. When you work off commissions, you always got to be pushing and driving, or you're going to fall behind for sure.
Yep.
All right. So as someone who has achieved significant success early in your career, what's one challenge you faced that taught you a crucial lesson early on, and how did you overcome it?
I definitely think one challenge was making emotional decisions and not thinking things through. There's definitely been times where I've gotten a big commission and said, instead of maybe saving and investing, I said, all right, let me buy this pair of shoes. Or, I got a car like a year and a half in. I was like, oh, time to upgrade the car, instead of maybe
Yep.
saving that from home. That's definitely been one thing is instead of making emotional decisions, really sit down, think about it and make the smart, logical decision instead of thinking with, it'll be nice if I'm in this car. It might be better off if I wait and invest and get a new car later or get that pair of shoes a different time.
Yeah, definitely. So yeah, coming from my oil and gas background, it's a boom and bust economy as well as real estate can be at times. And as some big paychecks start rolling in, and you start seeing new trucks parked in the driveway at work all the time. And it's sometimes you got to pump the brakes a little bit. It's not always going to be that easy to get that big paycheck coming in. So yeah, that's understandable for sure.
Yeah, definitely. Being young, it's always seeing like, especially like social media. Everyone has the new everything. You see everybody with new stuff. It's hard to get. It's easy to get caught up on that. I should say, like, oh, I need the latest iPhone or whatever it is. But really, it's just keep pumping. You never know. It could be slow. There's ups. There's downs. Keep saving. Keep investing. And when the time is right, all that stuff will come.
Yeah, that stuff will come along. Yeah, like you said, the social media stuff, it makes it hard. You see everybody driving the fancy cars and the watches and stuff, and it can really pull you into that sort of thing if you're not careful. Because once you start making some money, it seems that pretty easy to put it in some places like that, and they're not always the right places.
Right.
So looking ahead, what key trends or shifts do you anticipate in the Northeastern Pennsylvania real estate market, and how are you preparing to adapt and continue serving your clients effectively?
Well, with everything going on with mortgage rates, rumors of them dropping, I'm assuming that all of my clients have told me, hey, when the interest rate drops, I'll start looking to buy. Uh,
Uh-huh.
I'm anticipating for them to come along when that does happen. The spring market, I'm expecting it for 2026 to be a big year in the spring, especially if rates do fall. So we're really gearing up. I built out a team in the beginning of 2025. We're looking to add people to the team to really take on 2026 and really expand our business and scale a lot more than we did in 2025.
Yeah, I'm sure that part of it can be difficult for you and as well as all agents, when you're kind of dependent on interest rates that kind of almost set the market for you a little bit. And it can be tough during those times when it's something that's kind of out of your control, it makes it a little bit tougher for you to get people in the right situation there.
Yep.
It's just one of those things. You just gotta keep working through it, whether it's a buyer or seller's market.
Yeah, it's always about just new ways of finding business. I can't sit at home and wait for the buyers to call me. I gotta go. If they're not coming in, I gotta find a way to get listings. And
Yeah,
if
exactly.
listings,
There's different ways to navigate each for sure. So it's being able to roll with those punches and make the best plan for whatever comes your way.
absolutely.
Excellent, excellent. Well, this conversation's been incredibly insightful and truly highlights your dedication and client first approach and impressive drive. Your journey from rookie of the year to multi-million dollar producer is inspiring. Thank you for taking the time to share your North Fork experience with us today.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Okay, before we wrap up, for our listeners in Northeastern Pennsylvania who are looking to buy, sell, or invest in real estate, or perhaps just inspired by your story and want to connect, what's the best way for them to reach out to you and learn a little bit more about your services and what you do at Keller Williams?
They could follow me on Instagram at Peguero Real Estate or the Peguero and Placencio team. That's our team page. R Peguero on TikTok. I'm always doing videos on social medias, always posting. They could always reach out through there.
Perfect, perfect. We'll make sure we include all those details in the show notes for easy access.
Thank you.
All right, that's all for this episode of the North Fork Experience. A huge thank you again to our incredible guest, Ronald Peguero, and thank you for tuning in. Until next time, keep exploring, keep growing, and keep experiencing all that our communities have to offer. Thank you, sir, for a great conversation. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.